Hello everyone, Jacques from Dapper Shaves. We're back with a honing video. This is a Japanese Hayashi H.Diamond or H.Diamond straight razor. I've got a few of Japanese straight razors in. It is likely my favorite country of origin razor maker. This is essentially NOS. I think they were opened or used once and maybe got some water. They've got this one's got very light spots on there, but you'll see these blades, or this blade is essentially unused NOS. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the edge on this. This stone here is a Aiiwatani. I've also got a Nakayama. We'll get to that. We're gonna use it. First things first, what does the edge look like? Well shaped, quite nice. The heel, once again, very faint. It actually disappears away there, so not a lot of love there. So we're going to finish that. The subscribers, new ones, and the current subscribers, all welcome. Thank you very much for joining again. So without further ado, this is a Aiiwatani 4.5 on the hardness level. I really enjoy this stone. This is a Ken Asano stamped Botan. White, soft. This stone is a mid-range stone. We don't need to set the bevel. So I'm creating quite a lot of slurry. This Botan is a lot softer than the base stone, and hence the whiteness of the slurry. And for this purposes, I like quite a thick slurry base. If I slide the razor across the stone, I can feel that the heel area is different than the rest, and that's because it's underdeveloped. So slight edge biased, making sure I'm not riding the shoulder here. Slight edge biased, and then working the heel, giving that the necessary love to start grinding back some of that bevel that needs to go in there. And then I'll slowly step up and come across the rest of the blade. And as you would know by now, regular inspection when you're doing work, especially if you're using a bit of biased pressure or force, stop and just make sure that things are happening the way you would expect them to be happening. I've also got a Nakayama stone here. We'll talk about that. We're going to do the finishing bits on that stone. So the Japanese razors generally are quite hard in temper. Most of them are in the range of about 63 to 65, but mostly 65. They are quite hard, so similar to Swedish razors with a hard quench. To put that in perspective, Solingen razors I put in the range between 60 and 62 maximum. Sheffield razors 60, 61 generally. And the French razors, the Tierzy Sarts as an example, also very hard, 65 range. So the Japanese razors quite hard, so be patient, don't force things, take your time, make sure you set it, do the work properly, and once the bevel is nicely set, then just take your time in refining. The slurry does break down over time, so it becomes finer, loses some of its cutting capability, and at some point in time it will stop providing cutting power. Through trial and error, you will find what is the best for the stone combination you use. These are natural stones that come out of the ground. There's no set any rule of them. Maybe on natural stones, I know there's a debate, for lack of a better word, where the question is being asked, is there a difference between Mohiro and Nakayama? And if so, what are they? The general consensus or feeling is that there is very little difference between those stones. And once again, I think that's a very dangerous thing to do or say. They're all natural stones, very unique, very different. So the stones I have seen, there is a difference. There isn't a lot, but there's a difference in cutting speed, and also they behave different on stone. So I would still encourage you to have coma in your setup. You don't have to use it, but a lot of them I really enjoy and finished. Most of the razors I do with a base coma. Having said that, for this exercise, I'm going to do a Mohiro. And then use a stone that is similar to a coma. It is called Cujo. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I'll put down the name in the description in any case. Here we go. This is what it looks like. I want to put some water on here. So we're going to finish with this stone. Quite soft, very fine, puts on a killer edge. Right, so I think I'm going to now jump to a Mohiro. This is a striped Mohiro, also a Ken Zano stamped stone from Sakamoto-san. Also softer than the base stone, and you will see this one creates a slight orangely yellow type tint similar to the stone. And I think I have got a guest at the door, so we'll be back in a second. Okay, so we back. My daughter came back from a movie. I just needed to see the people off at the door. We're recording. Mojito once again. A nice thick creamy slurry. This stone is softer than the base stone. And we are going to refine that, and then I think we're going to step to the finishing on the Nakayama. So once again, I've reduced the edge bias pressure slightly. Previously I was using at least 300 grams of pressure. Now I think I'm down to about 100-ish, thereabouts. And when we change to the Nakayama for the final finishing, that pressure I'll halve in the first step of that progression, and then I'll drop it to no pressure at all when finishing. But we'll talk about when we are there. Here it's making sure I'm getting the same feel and sensation both sides of the edge across the entire edge length, and then keep refining and feel if I can feel the changes as the slurry dilutes across the edge, and if I get that glossy smooth feedback. On the heel, as we're speaking now, I can feel that this part of the edge is still rougher than the rest of the blade, because I spent a lot of work there, so those scratches just need to get polished and removed. And once that is removed, you will feel the same sensation across the blade, because everything would be the same polish. And we're not far away from that. And if you want to just double check, take off the pressure as light as possible and see if that's still the same. And we are there, so I'm going to just work the slurry as fine as I can, and then we're going to jump onto the Nakayama. Maruka Asagi. That one's got a Kato stamp on. So the owner of the mine. It's a very popular stone if you can find one. Once again, I'm very blessed and thankful to use one like that. So this stone I'm going to just briefly rinse down and move out the way. This is the Nakayama. We'll have a look at this briefly. There we go, got the stamp on there. This is the skin on the back of the stone. This comes out of a wood mount, but I've removed that. It actually came loose, I didn't remove it, so I'm just working with it. You know, as the wood gets wet, it expands and contracts, and the stone came loose. I'll be in focus here. Yep. Right, we said we're going to finish with this this stone. Very little of the base stone is going to come off. You'll also see this stone, if I use this side, will have a brown toffee color. It is very soft and very fine. And you'll see there's actually looks like a brown streak. And that's one of these these colors within the stone. Right, that is enough slurry. We are going to keep running this, and I'll keep hydrating it also over time. But I think I want to finish with this depending on how it feels. Pressure now, let's call it, I don't know, 50 grams. And this is the time now to pay attention really to the feel and feedback, and really dial in what you need to do. It's not supposed to sound rocket science, but a lot of people tend to focus just on counting laps or following a prescribed recipe or something, and it doesn't work. I'm quite sure that was audible. The gentlemen returning with their motorcycles from their weekend play somewhere. I just hope they do that safe. Me and my daughter had our ride yesterday. I first did the recording for the channel, my other channel. So I'll put up a link here if you're interested in motorcycles or just something different than razor owning. And then we're also going to include in that channel stuff around coffee, knife sharpening, and actually everything else. I'm not sure if it's the algorithm, but it's the algorithm and obviously the subscribers. I did introduce some motorcycle content on this channel, and it had a significant impact on this channel in a negative way. And if you go and look at the numbers and the timing and everything, it just adds up. And hence I moved out. So the wet shaving crowd, obviously quite a tough crowd to please. So this channel will always be wet shaving going forward. And all the other stuff I get up to will be on the Dapper Stuff channel. But you can find that also there's little icons on my home page back to the Motorcycle Coffee channel. So if you're interested in stuff like that, go and have a look. We are really getting close with this razor. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to move my coffee out the way. I want to put this in hand honing. And then I want to run and finish under water. And then we'll do a little palm strop here and see if it will take some hairs. And then I'll go and give it a good stropping. And then take this razor for a shave. And if I've done everything here correctly, and I'm on point with my technique, that's going to be a magic shave, I think. Also, as I finish short, very light strokes is a way of controlling even pressure across the blade and contact quite significantly, and it also will give you a very good feedback if you are right at the last couple of strokes of finishing, if you pay attention. Guys, I'm going to think I'm gonna call that good. With a razor of this quality and with the bevel it had, I would be disappointed in my own attention to detail if I got this wrong. But that's always possible. You never know until you're there, and that's the nice thing about wet shaving. So try and bring up a couple of layers here, and find the angle that's going to work. Something like this. Yeah. 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 I'm quite sure hopefully you guys can hear that too. But the tree topping nicely. So that's essentially how I am going to tackle this razor. I will now, under the running tab, just give it a couple of more cleanup strokes, go and give it leather, and see you guys on the next shave video. So the first stone was the Aiiwatani. Beautiful stone. This one I'm going to get permission from the owner, but this side you will see already the skin, this side coming through. So I want to grind this away so that there isn't any skin chamfering off, so that if you use a diamond Nagura, that you don't loosen some of the skin and get it in here. This skin, here's a better example of skin. This stuff is extremely hard and detrimental to a straight razor edge. Remember that. And then here's the Nakayama Maruka Asagi. Very pretty stone. And the surface of the Aiiwatani, very similar. And then lastly, well, you guys have seen the other stones, but this little fellow, the Botan, the Tenju, Mohiro, and Diamond Sun. See you guys on the next video.